Morning. Okay, well, I mean, everything is divine time, so I trust that I'm on here for a reason, and it's not in no type of vein. So, yeah, I wanted to share this message with you guys real quick. Um, I'm going to deliver it in the best way that I know possible. I might pull, I may not pull, I don't know. I did a love reading already. I'll probably post it tomorrow or something, or later, technically later today. So, I wanted to come on here real quick and just share something with y'all. And hopefully, like I said, it's clear. The divine spirit is clear in the message and how it's meant to be delivered. So, I wanted to share something with you guys when it comes to wondering, like, when is it going to be your time with whatever it is that you have in your heart to manifest, and things that you've been desiring and you feel like you've been waiting forever. You feel like you're watching everybody else get the very thing that you prayed for, that you've asked about, or that you've been waiting for years. For some of you, um, even feeling like you're just being tormented, or like, what is going on, right? So this book, I spoke about, probably not. I don't know if I did. I don't know if I like talked about the story of Hannah in the Bible and her giving birth to Samuel, but I was led to dive deeper into that because Spirit kept revealing that to me, kept showing me the story of Hannah, and I was led to this book that blessed my life. It's a short book. It's a short read. I got through it in like 2 or 3 days, actually 3 days, I think. Um, so it's not really that long, but it's a blessing. So I wanted to share this with you guys in case you wanted to know going on and where you're at. If you feel like, what about me? When is it going to happen for me? Whatever it might be that you're asking to come to pass or to manifest into your life, and you're wondering, when is this desire going to come? So this might be helpful to some of you. Probably not everybody, but for some of you, it may very well be. Um, Spirit kept bringing restoration, like the word restoration has been coming up a lot. And I remember a dream that I had, and I talked about it. I'm not going to post the love reading just yet. I'll probably post it sometime later today because it's like 12 a.m. where I'm at. So I'm going to post it probably later on. Um, but just through all transparency, I'll share like my testimony with this and how this may resonate, or at least a part of my testimony, and this how this might help somebody else. And then I'll like further go into it. But the dream that I had, Spirit showed me this dream where there's always like a scenery of water. If it's not a waterfall, then it's rain. But this one particular dream that I had where there was rain in it. Hey Cynthia, where there was rain in the dream, it didn't really look like natural like sprinklets of rain, like it kind of like had form to it. I don't know how to explain it. It was not hail droplets like ice. It didn't look like rain. It kind of looked like it just, I don't know how to explain it. It was weird. And I seen it was a couple in the rain, and they were face to face. They were looking at one another. And when I looked up the interpretation of that, the message that I got was the rain symbolizes purification, obviously, but it can also represent the glory and the presence of God, which is very beautiful in a dry, in a situation where there's dryness, meaning where there's a lack of life, where there's a lack of fruitfulness, right? So a lot of you may resonate, or maybe not even a lot, whoever's meant to see this may feel like you're barren, like you're infertile with the manifesting with what it is that you want. You feel like, okay, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe it's not my time for my career, my purpose. Maybe it's not my time to ever be in a relationship. Maybe it's not my time to ever get married or have kids or have this, breakthrough, whatever this breakthrough is in my life, or to move, or to have, a place. Maybe it's never going to happen for me, right? It just seems like everything is dried up and it's nothing happening. Well, you have to discern the season that you're in, And the story of Hannah, like I said, it blessed, like it kept coming to me, and I heard the story before, but I never really went into depth of how it resonates with so many that might feel like you're being overlooked, you're being passed up in life, or you feel like you're not getting anywhere sometimes, or the very thing that you're praying for, asking for, you feel like it's just not happening, it's just not coming to pass. And it's almost to the point where you're like, okay, I might as well just give up, right? And this is not to discern waiting in vain for things that the divine never placed for you to have, wanting something that's not for your highest good, but this is for the things that are for you, for your highest good. And there's a purpose and reason for the waiting. You got to know that there's a purpose and reason for the waiting. But it's, you feel like, okay, you're being tormented. You feel like you're watching everybody else get what you want or what you had, like what you wish to have, what you've been praying for, or people like taunting you, saying, okay, well, remember you said you was going to be a singer. What's going on? What's happening? What's going on with this career that you claim you're going to have, right? Or where's this husband or this wife you said you're going to have? Or where's this car? Where's this house? Oh, maybe you need to just give it up. You need to let it go. You need to stop running after this career or whatever. It's not going to work for you, right? You're faced with that opposition. And time again, behind closed doors, no one knows how much you've prayed, how much you've cried out to spirit, how much you've asked, okay, what's going on? And again, it's that, what about me? And I'm going to be transparent right here with this one in a standpoint. I'm not going to tell all of my business, um, because even if people have wished bad things on me, God is in control of my life. No one has power nor control. I know where I'm at. I know what God is doing. And at the end, God gets the glory. So I'm going to go into that too. But when it comes to, let's say, love life, right? I've been on this journey for a minute with doing readings for love, doing love readings for people, and the desire to help, feeling the calling to help people in their love life, for them to find healing, for them to identify love when they see it, or to encourage them that love, true love does exist, that they can have the love that they want. Some of you guys know my channel started out as me doing twin flame readings. Um, that's how it started out for me, because at first I thought God wanted me to do just read anything, and I tried the whole oh, I'm gonna do zodiac readings. That wasn't really what God was calling me to do. God did want me for a time to do the twin flame stuff, and my channel just started to grow at that point. And then that's where the clients and stuff, people came in. I wasn't looking to make money. I wasn't thinking that I was going to have clients. I didn't think that this was going to be anything but just something that I would do from time to time, right? So that's where I started. That's where my passion was. And I always vowed, I always said that, divine spirit, like, I want to help people with their love relationships. I want to help them with that. And while I'm doing this, as you're guiding me to do it, you know, and I went through a transition, and there was times where I dealt with counterfeits, as far as I I've been, technically, I have not been in a long-term relationship probably for like maybe 8 years now, 7 years. I've been, I might have dated or talked to people in between, and then I decided to be abstinent for maybe about like 5 years, 6 years now. So I'm being transparent, I'm being honest. Like, I'm gonna just say all of this, just sharing this with you guys. And I've decided to not, have sex and stuff with anybody until I've met my person, and I know that I met my person, and God releases it, and God releases me to the right hands. So I'm just like, okay, it's a lot of temptation. And sometimes you be like, okay, why? How long do I have to wait? Right. But I've noticed that either God will allow me for a time to like get to know people, talk, or, but it doesn't stand, it doesn't last for whatever reason. Maybe one other instance where during that time of my singlehood and during my abstinence, I did like, formulate like a friendship with somebody, but even that, for a time, like, it got cut short. Like, it's not time yet. And I'll say to myself, like, okay, my friends, they're in a relationship, or my friends, they're, getting married, or my friends, my family, whatever. And you're looking like, okay, what's going on? And this is not been an issue for me until I decided that I was going to walk my spiritual journey. If I back in the day when I wasn't focused on spirituality, yeah, I might have went to church every now and then, but I wasn't really, I didn't have a relationship with my creator like that. I knew about certain things spiritually about the Bible. I've always been enticed and drawn to spiritual things and psychics and all that, and because I had a gifting in that, so I was always like, into stuff like that. But I wasn't looking. I was in surface level lifestyle. So it was easy to date at that time, to just hook up with this person, talk to this person. It was, and at that time as well, I was in a relationship, if you want to call it that, but it was really just nothing but toxicity, really. So when I decided to walk my journey, that's when I decided to let that relationship go. And in times, yeah, I did form connections. I might have felt drawn to this person, that person, but it was never that, you know what I mean? It never lasted, it never stood. So spirit at that time was pruning me and healing me, but I didn't understand it all the way. I'm like, God, I'm doing all this, I'm helping this person, that person, and I want this person to find love, and I'm happy when I see this person in a relationship or they found love, this and that. But like, what's up? Like, what about me? Like, you get to that place where you're like, is this all in vain, or am I just a gatekeeper for lovers, just, Cupid, like helping people? And then I'm just like, it doesn't work like that. God's not going to do that to you. Like, okay, I'm going to bless everybody else around you, but you just going to have to watch. Like, it doesn't work like that. So it's all about understanding the season you're in. And if I'm totally honest with myself, I was not, and I probably still am not, I don't know, ready for a relationship where I thought I was. I was still being healed. So yeah, you just got to discern where you're at. So this book, I'm gonna read some of this to you because it really, really, really helped me. So if you guys resonate with this, like with this what about me complex. So this book, it's called The Hannah Anointing by Michelle McLean Walters, and I was drawn to this one and two other anointings, but the story of Hannah comes to me. It's just like coming, and I didn't understand why this story would come to me. I remember I prayed about something. This was maybe a week or two ago. I was praying about something and I opened my Bible up, and Hannah's prayer was like right dead smack. And I was like, okay, what are you trying to say? Because I kind of understand a little bit. Okay, it's a woman that was infertile. Her husband, he had another wife, and the other wife was able to produce children. And this wife would always throw it up in Hannah's face, like, where's your child? And the other wife was jealous of Hannah because even though she was infertile, she didn't produce children for her husband. Her husband still favored her over the other wife, and the other wife was jealous of that. So she would always throw in her face, where's your babies? Where's your children at, right? So that might resonate with some of you, maybe not in relations to children. It could be a business, it could be a home, it could be a relationship, it could be something where someone around you might have what you have, and it might not actually be any type of big thing to them, but it's like, oh well, I have something she wants and I know it, or he wants, so I'm gonna throw it up in their face, I'm gonna laugh at them. Oh, my boss just I just got a raise today, and you're still looking for a job, right? You're still looking for that financial breakthrough, and this person's throwing it in the face. Oh, I just bought me a new car today, like trying to throw it in your face. And one thing that Divine Spirit pointed out in this was Hannah never retaliated. She always kept her peace when it came to the torment, when it came to the rejection and the shame. She would always take it to God. She would always go and pray. She would go on off in her own and go into her own sacred place. She wouldn't, retaliate. It's another thing. But so long story short, she prayed year after year for a son. She wanted a baby, a son. She prayed and prayed and prayed. And finally, she got so fed up, she left the dinner table. She didn't even eat. She just left. She's like, I'm tired of the torment from this other wife, shaming me, making fun of me, mocking me. She got up and she went to the temple and she prayed furious. Like, she prayed. It was, how you get to those places where you're just like, you're fed up, you're tired, you're mad, you're emotional, and you're like, really, what's up, God? I don't know if anybody's ever got to that place where you're just like, okay, what's up? Like, what is going on, God? Really? Um, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing this? Like, what's up? So she was in that place, and she prayed for this baby, and she said, I'm going to give this child to you. And this is the part that is so dope. I'm going to read some of the book, but basically Hannah prayed for something that the world needed at that time. See, if you look at, I'm reading it, I'm going to talk about it in a practical sense, but biblically, in the Bible, the Israelites, they were missing the voice of God at that time. There was no, they weren't hearing from God at that time, that period, for a period, a long period. And Hannah's prayer, her desire for a son was really the desire of the divine God's heart and the people of that time, because she gave birth to Samuel, which Samuel is documented as the first prophet in the Bible, the first prophetic voice, the voice of God, or the a person that's speaking as a voice, as a mouthpiece for God, for the others. So she was giving birth to a blessing for others, not just herself. Little did she realize that thing that she was bearing inside of her was actually the seed that God planted, that seed, that desire in her heart. So for some of us, it's like you got to realize that some things that you're asking for, that you're wanting, it's not just for you. And a lot of times the waiting is really the pruning. It's to prepare you. It's to help restore your heart, build you up. The essence of resilience and faith and patience might be a test for a lot of you. I know that is one of my biggest tests, patience, because, Tauruses, we do too much. Tauruses, we can be very pushy with time and impatient. They say that we're patient, but I mean, no, not really. Um, so it really is a test to your faith. And I can't speak for everyone. I know I might lose some people on this because of the whole Bible thing. But, again, I say this in other videos. Just because you don't resonate with the Bible does not mean the stories of the people cannot resonate with you. And you might miss a message. You might miss a download. You might miss a blessing. You might miss clarity because you're shutting it out. And that's okay, because it might not be for those people. It's all good. Um, I'm on here. What time is it? It's 12:23 a.m. here, and there's no reason why I should be up sharing this, but it's for somebody that needs to hear it, because somebody's probably at their wits' end, and like, I'm tired of waiting for whatever. I'm tired of hoping and wishing or praying for something that is not going to come to pass, and that is not true. If it's something that has been placed in your heart, then you are going to give birth to that thing, because you're not giving birth to something that's just meant for you, but it's going to be beneficial to other people. When you surrender that thing to the divine and you say, this is something that is a blessing and it comes from you. So I have to trust that you're going to do what's best and what's right with this thing, and you're going to bring it to pass when it's time. In the meantime, whatever you want me to do, wherever you need to be, whatever my stance needs to be with you, show me how to do that and how to be solid in that. And that's not always easy, and it's not always fun either. Um, where's it at? So the hindrance when it comes to our persistence, you got to stay persistent in prayer or seeking the divine about the thing. You have to stay persistent in that, because there's going to be times where you don't have support. And I'm going to tell you right now, like, not to say that I don't have support, but there are certain things that some people are not meant to be with you. It's like being in the operating room. Not everybody can go in the operating room with you. It's just you and the doctors and the nurses. Not everybody can be back there with you as you're going through your process, right? Same thing when you're going through a process of birth. Only a couple of people, a couple of family members are able to be back there with you, but there's times where you got to go through the process by yourself. They can help you push, but ultimately it's you that's pushing this thing out. So you got to be solid with between you and the divine and what you're doing and what you're birthing, even if it doesn't make sense to anybody else. So the hindrances in this book, Is very key. Like it's very significant. The hindrance can be jealousy, meaning, let's say the people that see something that you have or know it's something that you want to have and you want to manifest, and they see it, they see some type of blessing or favor. They may not know why they're jealous, but they taunt you. So you have the rejection. The rejection that feels like it's an extended period of getting an unanswered prayer, right? Like, and this is me being transparent again. I always be like, why do I always get the guys that I don't want? Or with the guys that I do want, they don't ever want me. Or there's always something. There's always something in the, some type of block. Or it's always some type of confusion. Or there's always another chick or two or three or whatever, right? It's always something. So it's just like, okay, what's going on? It feels like you're being rejected. Like you feel that rejection. So that might be something that needs to be healed, is the spirit of rejection. The temptation to compromise what it is that you want, saying, okay, maybe I'm being too picky, or maybe I this is not the career for me, or maybe I need to just do this, oh maybe I need to settle for that. It's the temptation to compromise, the temptation to forfeit. And you never your son clicked. Oh, oh, hey, that's a good omen. Your son, oh, we talking about Samuel over here. Oh, shout out to that baby. So, the compromising is a temptation for you to say, I give up, so that you don't give birth to that thing, because the thing that you're meant to give birth to. See, if you weren't being tormented, the thing is like, this is what you got to understand spiritually, whether you want to look at it from a new age perspective and call it, oh, the dark forces, oh, the matrix, the agents of the matrix, enemies, demons, devils, whatever you want to call them. You wouldn't be attacked by those beings if what you were giving birth to wasn't a threat to that darkness, right? So the torment comes, the ridiculing, the humiliation, the mocking, the poking at you and all that, people working in those energies, or just it happening to you in your own mind, yourself, saying you're fighting yourself, you're wrestling with yourself, oh I don't want this, oh it's not meant for me, oh I'm not good enough, oh it's never gonna happen, that type of stuff. That wouldn't be, those oppositions and that torment wouldn't be there if it wasn't something threatening the darkness. So you cannot compromise, you can't settle, and you can't forfeit, you can't give up. So judgment and criticism, being judged and criticized by people. Hannah's husband, he was like, am I not, because he questioned, he was like, are you not satisfied with me as a husband? Like, he says, I can't remember what he said, am I not enough? Like something like he was able to have all these children, and he was saying, am I still not enough? And she's looking at him like, are you crazy, dude? Like, I want a child, I still can't. You like, what about, like, you ain't even thinking, considering me? Like, so the judgment and criticism. And on top of that, when she was in the temple praying, she was praying probably real crazy, probably crying, probably just like fed up. And the priest in the temple, he asked her, was she drunk? And he told her, that's enough drinking. And she was like, I'm not drunk. And she told him what she was wrestling with, and he interceded and prayed for her. So that also helped bring a breakthrough for her as well, because after that she got up and she felt a light weight off of her body. But in the beginning, she was being judged and criticized. So some of you could be judged and criticized for the very things that you want. Oh, no, you can't be a model, you're too short. Oh, you can't start your own business, you don't have a high school diploma. I'm just using examples, just little things that could be opposition. Oh, you're 39, you can't have kids anymore, you're getting too old, right? Those types of things. Shame from society as well. That shame that I'm gonna use single women as a example. And it's funny too, because one of my sister friends, she was just saying that she realized, like, when she before she got married to her husband, that everybody, whenever she would speak and have an opinion, people would look at her and be like, why are you talking? Like, you don't have no right, like, kind of looking at her as like, because you don't have a man, like, you don't have an opinion. And it was a study that really that shows that very thing too, that most women that are single, they don't really take their voice seriously when they speak up about things. Or women that don't have children, they're looked at less, as less feminine or less whatever womanly, because they don't want to have children or they can't have children, right? Singleness is looked at as a curse, especially when you get to a certain age, when you're not married or you're single or you don't have kids or whatever. You're looked at in a certain way. So it's this shame from society, this judgment, this pressure that you get. And I'm going to be transparent again. Don't think that I ain't got no family members asking me, like, or looking at me like, where's your man? And my mom saying, oh, you need to hurry up and have some more bread. I want another grant. Like, looking at me like, and it's that pressure. And I'm gonna be transparent again. She had the audacity to say, "Why don't you just have a baby with your gay friend?" And I was like, I couldn't even believe she said that shit, but she did. She tried it, and I'm thinking to myself like, no, I've seen people have babies far, and I'm not even that old. Like I'm still in my early 30s. Like stop. But yeah, that pressure. Like, oh, why don't you just get a real job? Like, why are you chasing after this? Why don't you just get a real job? Why don't you just talk to that guy that's been trying to talk to you? Why are you waiting on some whatever? But you know what I mean? Those types of things. I'm just using examples. Um, then you have temptation. Temptation to get in your pride and your ego, to retaliate, to say, F it. I'm going to tell these people off. I'm going to say this. I'm going to do that. Or any type of retaliation. That is a temptation you want to fight. Rather than that, tap into the essence that's going to help you unlock the flow and the blessings that's inside, that's stored. It's locked, but it's not blocked. It's just locked. It's not blocked. So how do you get into that? Endurance. You cannot give up. You can't give way to those temptations. You can't. Or people that don't get it. This is a faith walk, but it's also a walk with your creator. At the end of the day, I can have my opinions about your situation. I can feel this way, I can think that, but at the end of the day, I'm not in the room, that privacy, that sacred place with you and your creator. I'm not in it. So I can't speak on it all the way because I don't have the full picture, just as no one can do the same for me. Though I appreciate maybe the advice or the inner, support, whatever. At the end of the day, this is between me and God. This promise is from God. It's not from man. It's not from this woman or that person or this, it's not from my mom. It's not from my dad or society, the TV, this, what the magazines say. This is God's glory, because whatever this is, it's bigger than me, right? That's how you have to look at it. Endurance, prayer, meditation, whatever. You got to stay persistent in that time and time again. That's where you get your strength and your validation from, is by seeking the divine, constantly seeking the divine through this. Because it's not always going to be easy. It's not always going to be fun. It's not always going to be clear. You do need people, though, that are going to come into agreement with you and there's people that are going to believe in this for you. God is going to place in their heart, or the creator, whatever you want to call it, the Most High is going to place in their heart that compassion and that desire to intercede and see your blessing come to pass and come into agreement with you. So you will have support in certain ways, even if it's just one person. You will have that. Then you have the vow, that a new vow, which is what Hannah, she made a new vow. She pleaded with divine spirit. She's pleaded with God. She said, I want this child. I'm going to give them to you. This baby is going to be for you. And I'm going to take care of this child because they're a blessing from you. But they're yours. You do what you will with this child. You bring them up for the fulfillment of what you want to do with this child's life. That was her. So when it comes to your blessings, God, this home, when I get this home, this is going to be a safe haven for my family. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this and that. I'm going to create land. And then this land is I'm going to eventually build more land. This will be for my family, my next generations, their kids and their kids, blah, 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 whatever. I'm just using examples. This career path that I'm choosing, I want to create a safe haven for young girls, and blah, blah, blah. I want to do this. I want to do that with it. God, I give you my marriage for it to glorify your name and show people that real love exists, for it to be an example of that, to help someone else heal, to inspire someone else to know that they can have the same, or whatever it is that you feel led in your heart, and you're not doing it from a sake of, oh, I'm just going to say this to get what I want. No, it really has to be earnest in your heart, because again, that at that very moment, she released, she locked that key again. I don't know, I'll be getting messages about keys and doors. But when she got into that place, her fulfillment became the divine's fulfillment. It was an agreement between her and the divine spirit. Again, like those seeds that are placed in her heart there to glorify the divine. It's not about the self. Have you ever manifested something, you get it, but you're not fulfilled? And sometimes that doesn't necessarily mean that it wasn't a blessing, like a divine blessing, because not all blessings come from the divine. Some of it is, in vain. Some of it's egotistical. Some of it is for self gratification and instant gratification. But some people, when they get certain things, they're never satisfied. They're on to the next. They could have the most beautiful woman in the world. They could have all the sports cars, whatever, the new release sports cars, whatever. No one else has, but they're still chasing something. They're still not fulfilled. It's a difference between like your true heart's earnest desires versus something that's coming from a place of emptiness and lack. So again, you really, you have to look at your situation differently. And I would say to ask spirit to guide you with this, as far as, where am I at this time? Where am I at? What are you doing with this? And I feel like God is going to reveal it to you. Like, it's going to be revealed what is the purpose and the plan of what you're asking for. Like for me, most of my promises, I know what they're meant for. I may not know all the fine details of who and what is in place, but the basis of it, I know what it's going to be used for the divine, what it's going to mean to some degree. Again, I don't have all the pieces. Prophecy is only told in part. So if it be something like, okay, I know that I'm meant to birth out this business, that I'm meant to birth out this business and start an organization. I know, because this is a big desire in my heart. I want to help people. I want to do this. I want to do that. I can see it. You might have the name of the business. You might not have the building. You may not have all of the team yet, but that's still coming into play. But there's a promise in that, right? It's something. So for you to say, okay, divine spirit, God, I give this to you. This is going to glorify you, because this is the thing, and this is what spirit revealed to me. I did a reading. I'll post it later, or later today, because it's like a.m. So technically it's Saturday, so I'll post it sometime later today. What was revealed in that, what was shown to me, is that the people that everybody's looking at, and thank you to one of my sisters, my sister Kenya, my sister friend Kenya. I was helping her at the time, and I don't want to tell too much of her business, but I was helping her at the time when she was confused about love, right? And a person. And I told her, I said, this ain't it. This ain't him. Once you let it go, you're going to get to a place where you're going to be, enjoying your singlehood. Enjoy it while you can, because you're not going to be single for long. And little did I know that she met her husband within that same year, and they got married probably I think, if not within that same year, the next year. And she said, she tells me all the time, she was like, I never had no boyfriends. I didn't have guys checking for me like that. Everybody in my family was looking at me thinking I was going to be the last person to get married. And one of her friend group, or some girl or whatever, told her that in order that the group of their friends, this person's going to get married first, this person, them, me, and then Kenya. And she was like, dang, like, really? Everybody counted her out. She was the one that ended up getting married. So it's the people that are looked at like the less than. Oh, this person didn't graduate high school. Oh, this person, oh, they got a record. Oh, she's got this, she's got that. He's still doing this. Oh, he's, everybody's looking at like casting you or counting you out. And when God is done with pruning you and manifesting that thing through you, that is going to be like, what the what? Because it's got to be that. It has to. That's the only way people are going to be saying, oh, wait a minute. Like, how that happened for you. Yeah, we hear a success story. Oh, yeah, I manifested $1 million by doing this and doing that. Like, okay, we could strive for that. But those testimonies where somebody was like, I lived in my car, I lived by myself, I didn't have nothing, I didn't know how I was going to eat, blah, blah, blah. But all I know is I have faith. I kept going. I kept persevering, blah, blah, blah. And look at where I'm at and other people. That is a test because it motivates you to keep going. Like, yeah, it's cool to hear like, oh, somebody has got $1 million business and how they manifested with the law. Like, that's cool. We've done that. We can master that. Like, that's cool. But it's when you're in those pressuring season where it don't come quick, it don't come easy, that really shapes you and molds you as a person. It's character development too. I'd rather sit at your table because you know some things. You don't just snap your finger, oh, I just manifested $1 million, or I had a check that just came in the mail. I didn't know where it came from. Like, okay, cool. I want to hear about her story. She was homeless on the street for 10 years, and all of a sudden, like, she's got this whole big organization where she helping people heal, she helping women. They got, I want to sit at her table. I want to know who she's serving, how you do that. I want that. The people that everybody overlooks that's still in the waiting room, they're the ones that it's not for you, because people are going to be looking at, well, how did you do that? That's a miracle. And when they hear your story, it's going to draw them closer to the divine, the most high. Don't care that you have $1 million. Do you got peace though? Cool. You're doing seminars. Are you happy though? Or are you just, it's just all about money? Who gives a fuck? Excuse my language. Cool. But I want that joy that surpasses all understanding, that remains. I want that on top of the blessing. I want that. Yeah. That this was nothing but the most high. Like, I couldn't have done this by myself. And that's another thing that, like, too, once you really give your life to dedicating it to your life purpose and all of that, it's a lot of stripping of the ego. It's a lot of development. It's a lot of discipline. A lot of people are not built for that. I'm not here for you, quick money scheme, um, just want to get by, just, fucking earthly, worldly people. I'm not here for you people. I'm not for everybody. It's cool, whatever fulfills you. But this path is a selfless journey. It really is. And a lot of people are selfish. Everybody's for themselves. Everybody's about self glory. Look at me. Look what I can do. There's so many of y'all out there. I don't fuck with y'all. I don't care. Yeah, you get by for the time. Like, you guys get the glory for the time. But the ones that are selfless and they put themselves out on the line, like, see, the things that I'm praying for and asking for from spirit, they're not for me, and I know that. They're not solely for me to get the glory and say, oh, Chenoa got this, she got that. I know it's not for me. That, and I'm going to be honest, I can't do the motivation to keep helping people, because I can easily say, fuck y'all, I don't want to do this. I'm not, oh, I don't have a husband yet. Oh, fuck you, I'm not reading for you. Or I'm not helping you. I can easily do that. I don't have the heart to do that. That's not in me to do that. I don't have the motivation without knowing that there's people that do need help. Or if it's not only solely about love, my testimony can help somebody else. I can't do this without God either. I know that for a fact. God has never left me nor forsake me. Never. Never, ever, ever. The things that I can do by I've grinded by myself. I've had my back when nobody else did. I cried by myself. But when I've leaned on God, it's way more strength than I have in my own strength, if that makes sense. I know better than to play and be like, oh, there's no God, or oh, whatever. Oh, I'm bigger than that. I'm manifesting my own reality. Yeah, yeah, in essence, yeah. Yes. We are that manifestation of God, yes. But my human self, no, I can't do it all by myself. No. I can't do it without my spiritual team. I can't do it without people that are divinely connected to me in my life. I cannot be a liar if I said I could. I could for a time when I was in my ego, when I was in my woundedness. Oh, don't, no, leave me alone, bother me. Oh, I don't want to. Oh, I'm just going to be by myself. Oh, F everybody. Oh, whatever. I don't trust this person. I don't trust that person. Yeah, maybe in that energy, but no. Mm-mm. No. Yeah, all that stuff, the spells and the candles and all that stuff. Yeah, that stuff worked for a time. But when you connect with the higher power, you don't need to do all that. You don't need to do all that shit. You don't. You don't. You really don't. If y'all notice, I hardly touch my cards unless I have a client reading or if I'm doing the set reads that I do Mondays and Fridays. I haven't had the desire to do collective reads. I did a love read that I will share with you guys. But even in that, like, I have not felt like really reading with the cards because I don't need it. My connection is with the divine. I can get the message clear just through that alone. So I might not resonate with everybody right now. This is just where it's at. Like, this is just where I'm at. I'm leaning solely upon that whole the divine spirit essence within me. I'm just here right now. That's it. The only reason why I share these things is because I know it's going to edify and encourage somebody, even if it's just a couple of people. It's not going to resonate with everybody. I'm not here to kiss ass, keep up with what everybody else is doing and how they're doing, how they're reading and this, and I'm not I can't. I could try to be completely transparent. I thought that I could get away with doing certain things how everybody else do it, but that's not my lane. I got tired, I got burnt out. There was no passion in that. Like, yes, for a time I like doing certain reads and picker cards and stuff, but sometimes my heart's not in it. That's not what I'm called to do. Sorry, but not sorry. So if talking about God bothers people, then I'm probably not the reader for you because my messages, they could, from 1 minute to the next, they may not always come out of that. It might change. However, I'm being divinely led to share a message, so be it. It is what it is. But I kind of promised somebody that I would do a reading that would be encouraging for people that are just fed up, they're tired, they want to throw in the towel. No, don't do that. It's a trick. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's not easy. It's not fun. You're going to go through some challenges. You're going to go through periods of where you don't see anything. And sometimes you might not have seen nothing. It's like, oh, I thought this was moving forward and it didn't. Stop and go, stop and go. Or seasons of nothing happening. I know the feeling. Trust me. I know the feeling. But The only thing that keeps me going is the people that God has had in my life, the subscribers that have been here and do appreciate the message that's coming forth. Because there will be moments and times where I just be like, I don't want to do this. I don't feel like it, God. I don't feel like going on live. I don't feel like reading. I don't feel like sharing this, sharing that. Nobody cares. Like, I don't, that where you know, where you get attacked. You're just like, I don't feel like it. I don't want to. But that pull, that Chenoa, it's not about you. Get out of your own way. Get out of that. Like, you know, those things that encourage me, or those people, the voices, those people in my life that say certain things to encourage me, to motivate me, to edify me, that God speaks through them to speak to me, and vice versa. That's what keeps this going. Because otherwise, like, if this was any other way, I couldn't keep up with this. I'm gonna be honest. No. Mm-mm. No. It's not easy. So it really does take that. And I want to say, like, do not give up. Do not do that. Like, especially if you know, like, it's something. And if it's something like as big as a purpose or organization or something that you want to build for people, do not do that. I can see, like, oh, love is not ever going to come, or oh, I might not ever have kids, or oh, this house is whatever. But not even in those things, because you don't know what God is going to bless. And maybe you do know. Maybe you see it, you envision it, you've been given what it's going to do, how it's going to be beneficial, how it's going to help. But for those that you know that it's going to edify other people, just because you don't see the help yet, you don't see the checks yet, you don't see um the buildings that you're going to be in, or how you're going to do this, just because you don't see all of that yet, do not forfeit it and say, oh, I give up. I'm just going to stay at this call center job. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's where you're led to be. But if you know that you're not supposed to stay in that, or that's not where you're going to end up, don't give up. The Pursuit of Happiness by Will Smith, the movie with Will Smith. Like, that is another perfect example. And that was based off of a true story. That's a perfect example. Do not forfeit it. Do not. And don't be shamed by the desire of wanting to be a mother or a father for some of you, or wanting to be a wife, wanting to be, like, don't look at it as like, oh, it's just fairy tale, oh, it's so corny. No, those are natural gifts and blessings. Family is a blessing. Love and partnership is a blessing. Children are a blessing. These are people that have their own purposes and callings. So you might not know why you want to have babies. That baby may want to come in the world and have a purpose and a calling on their life. You don't know that. So to be like, oh, I'm gonna be shamed because, oh, love, I'm just this fairy tale fantasy. No, it's beautiful. It's a blessing. It is a blessing from God. Children are blessings from God. If you want a home, you're meant to have shelter. You're meant to have a place. You're meant to have a home that is comfortable to you, that is safe haven for you. That is your right. You don't, a car, you need transportation, right? You have a car of your dreams. Don't shame yourself for the things that you desire. You want better health. You want whatever you want, as long as it's something that's edifying. I believe that it is to be. And even the things that are not, like people that believe that they deserve to have things, even though they're assholes, they still get it. They still manifest it. So why would you feel any less? And that's how you got to look at it. You're looking at everybody else like, why them and not me? You got to stop rejecting yourself, or giving into the rejection or delusion that it's never going to be for you. But it's something special about what you're bearing, because it looks like it's not going to happen for you. And when it does happen for you, people are going to be like, what, look, what, where, how? Wait a minute. Yours didn't come easy. How did you do that? Wait a minute. Difference. Difference in influence. Don't give up on yourself. and what you have inside, that divine desire that you have inside of you, may not come when you think that you should have it. And again, you got to check yourself and ask, seriously, am I really ready? Sometimes, yeah, we can block our blessings sometimes, or we can be in a place of rejecting and pushing the very thing away that we say that we want. But be grateful that we're being revealed that we're not ready so we can know how to get ready. Or see the oppositions. Thank you for the opposition. Thank you for showing me the enemy and how to deal with him, how to defeat it, how to combat this thing. Because when you get the thing, when you get the promise, are you going to really cherish that thing? Are you really going to appreciate what you have when you have it? Hannah promised to God that she was not going to let a razor touch her baby's head. She said, I'm going to keep just, mm-mm. Okay, well, mm, yeah, I felt led to share that this book was, it's like I said, it's a short read, but it was beautiful. Don't grow weary. I just turned to that page. Don't grow weary. You gotta know too, like, you gotta have that relationship with the divine and the God to um know how the divine creator works. For one, the divine creator is not a liar. They don't ever make promises that they'll never keep. For one, they love, they care about your wants and your needs and your well-being. So you got to think of that. Like, God is not going to forget about me. I have to know that. And there was a perfect metaphor in here. She was talking about the shutdown during COVID and how certain businesses were shut down for business, and it doesn't make them any less valuable in a sense. When they open back up, they might have a new, building set up, a whole new structure set up, a whole new menu set up, or just something different, something new and improved. And that's what the divine is doing with you. It's a time for that hermit mode. It's a time for that, just that seclusion. I had like, how many, I was in a 6 month like seclusion. I didn't go out. I wasn't hanging out, whatever. It was just, I was in my space, just literally in my space. And it took something painful to get me to that place, yes, to surrender and be like, oh no, fuck this. And go into that place and like really deal with myself and cling closer to the divine and like really walk with the divine. And what are you showing me? And in that time, I can't lie and say that God did not bless me in those moments too, and like show me some things. So it's not a curse to be in hermit mode, because you can hear, you're more clear to hear spirit. You have time to hear yourself, to feel yourself, to deal with yourself, even if it hurts. For the divine to show you some things in secret just between you and the divine. Otherwise, you'll be distracted by everything going on. I mean, COVID did that for some, yeah. But there's gonna be times where you're kind of put into that place periodically, or even for a season or for a time, even sometime for years. Maybe, it fluctuates. Because I had off and on hermit modes where I would have to like really sit with myself, deal with myself, heal some things, and then I would be able to, mingle, do this, do that, whatever. But again, it's understanding the season that you're in your process of your waiting. You're not powerless. You're not powerless. You're not incapable. You're not fruitless. Just because it just hasn't happened yet for you doesn't mean that. Again, you got to know that whatever this is that I'm given, it must be something that I got to go through the process, the molding, the healing, and all of that. Because there's people that have certain things. It's like giving a teenager a Ferrari, and they don't even have a license. They don't even know how to drive. They get in the car and wreck it, and then it's just a throwaway. Why would you want something to be handed to you that you have no idea how to handle and how to take care of it? You don't understand the value of what you have because it's just given to you. Yeah. Trust me, you'll appreciate that thing when it comes, because you know that it came forth with a purpose. Yeah. Yeah. Whew, okay. I don't even know why I'm still up. Thank you, Spirit. But this was a good book. Like, it was quick, straight to the point. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. You are more than a conqueror. Yeah. Yep. I hope this encourages somebody. I do. Take this how you will, how it encourages you, how it resonates with you. Because, like I said, God speaks to me through so many different forms, and the Bible is just one of the many ways that I resonate with the stories of the people in the Bible, and I just find it so timely, so divine. How I'll stumble across something, and the person's story will resonate with the very thing that I'm going through, growing through, I should say. And it just gives me further clarity. It's a blessing. It's not. I don't want anybody to take this as like I'm trying to like convert people to Christianity and all this stuff. Like, I don't resonate with Christianity per se on a religious standpoint. On a spiritual standpoint, yes, and I feel like you can find that Christ consciousness in just about anything, really. So it's just about the essence. It's the spirit of it. I'm not trying to, you know what I mean? Like, no. But a message, sometimes it might come in strange places for some people. And when I say strange, it's places that are unusual to you, that, you wouldn't usually look for. Just about any, like, you could find God in anything. I'm telling you, even in the foolish things, as they say, God will use the foolish things to confound the wise. Literally, that is the truth, the God honest truth right there, for real. But yeah, I hope this was helpful. I do. I feel winded, Lord. But yeah, yeah, I want somebody to know that, whoever needs to hear. I know one of my ladies, she said she was going through some stuff, and I promised that I would do this video or something of this nature. I didn't know how it was going to come about, but when it's time, it's time. It's a strange time to be doing this. A strange hour for some of you. It might be like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. It's 1:03 here now. But yeah, whoever it's meant for. Whenever you watch this, whether it's during the time that I'm recording it or sometime after, I just hope that it speaks to you how it's meant to speak to you, and that you seek the divine, the most high about it, and ask where you're at with your season, with, get that clarity. Because you're going to get, I don't know about y'all, but Spirit's been kind of speedy with the messages. Like, here. Oh, you asked a question? Oh, here. Sometimes, not always. Like, it's still some things that might need some clarity, but usually, if you ask for something, you're going to get, you knock and you shall find. I'm telling you, literally. So, you will get the clarity. Trust me, you will get the clarity, you will get the direction. When you ask for it, you seek for it, you're going to find it. Trust it. So much love as always. I appreciate you guys. You guys be blessed. You be safe. Take care. Peace.